Voting has just wrapped up countrywide with every eye turning now to the results. South Africans share service delivery challenges, including rolling blackouts. Bad weather in some parts of the country also kept people at home, affecting voter turnout. Jan Joubert, a political analyst, is joining me now in studio for just an analysis of what we've seen so far. Jan, are you well?
Very well, very well. I voted on Saturday already, so I wasn't...
You were special.
I'm so special.
So special. Yeah, look, I mean, 5 p.m., by 5 p.m. today, 8 million people were expecting more. It's a bit worrying in terms of the overall number that we might end up with.
It's more than worrying, because 8 million out of 26 million is, well, it's a little over 8 million, comes to about 30% of the voters that are eligible to vote.
Yeah.
This means, and this is so, that we are headed for the lowest turnout in our history. It would be surprising in many provinces if turnout exceeds 40%. Now, these are depths that we have not plummeted. And the really worrying thing, Tony, about this is that it wasn't that people didn't want to vote. It was a matter of the IEC failing the people today by not training its people well on its own systems. What we heard being explained away in a very suave manner is actually inexcusable, what has happened. And as we speak now, hundreds of voters are standing at many polling stations, and they are going to be voting deep into the night because of the incompetence of the IEC.
You're calling it incompetence. Didn't they have a right to try a new system to make things smoother?
No. You do not have the right to try a system when the day of the actual election is going to be the day in which you actually switch on most devices that you've ever switched on. That means that you didn't do enough dry runs and you didn't do your preparation.
Okay, we've spoken a lot about why people might not want to go and vote. You bring in another reason as to why maybe the numbers are low, but I want to just focus on... Now we're going to be looking at the tallies at the end of the starting from whenever people, some stations obviously they've shut down because they've finished voting, some haven't. Who will the fact that many people decided not to vote, who will that benefit the most? Who is the loser in all of this?
Tony, I've spent my day speaking to people across the length and breadth of this country who are involved in this election. And although the results will have to be tallied and we will have to see, I think we can expect tonight that two of the bigger winners might be the DA and the EFF. It seems as though many of the voters who stayed away are ANC voters. This is just at this stage what I'm hearing from the ground, but I'm hearing it from wide and far. If it isn't so, then we will see tomorrow that it isn't. But at the moment, I think the ANC must be a very worried party.
Okay, who gains the most?
The DA and the EFF, I think, just on the evidence that I have, both those parties will gain rather heavily, of course, from a low base. I remember that the ANC must come down from a 53% figure in 2016. The DA then scored 26%, and we expected them to do very poorly. I'm not saying they won't go backward, I don't know, but they're going to do much better than we thought they would. And the EFF, I think, is in for a good night.
Okay, and 8 million people, this almost shows that, many people, regardless of what party they may have voted for, may have wanted to vote for, it's almost like they're tired of politics, isn't it, to a large extent, or they have no faith in the people that we're putting forward.
Well, that, of course, would be, in the end, the existential question. That's the big question. It's a bit difficult to answer that at 9 o'clock on a Monday night. There's going to have to be a lot of research. And once we've established that people are unhappy with the current system, what exactly do we do?
Yeah.
That's going to be a question for the weeks to come and the years to come. But for the moment, the situation is that we are not in a good spot at the moment. We'll see how things pan out. You know, South Africans make things work. In the end, we waddle through. But this is not a stellar performance by the IEC by a country mile.
Okay, not happy with that at all, Jan. All right, Jan, fantastic. Lovely chatting with you as always. And I know we'll be chatting throughout the week anyway. So, yeah, let's see what happens. It's counting time in many polling stations.